Hey yo, how's it going? So just a little update. I am feeling so much better. I know I was feeling better a couple days ago, but actually, what ended up happening is because I was low on blood volume because my stomach was bleeding. Like basically last week is when it was recovering. The week before that was when it was bleeding, so I was like lethargic the whole time. And so once I finally figured out what was going on and that it wasn't just executive dysfunction for my ADHD, I kind of got onto sort of the anemia treatment, which helps get my lung function back up. Because basically, when my blood volume is down really low from bleeding, my heart tries to overwork to try to get things into my lungs. And when my lungs are kind of like that, they sort of turn into this like shut down version of themselves. So you're sort of like choking out and dying and bleeding out and dying at the same time. Not really dying, but you know what I mean. If I had been older or in more frail condition, it is deadly, you know. And if I hadn't known how to treat it, it could have been deadly even at my age. So post recovery with that, what it ended up doing, and what I could have seen as a sign is because I was bleeding in my stomach and the blood volume was low. A third effect was it threw my monthly cycle off. And I don't really like talking about it in too crude of terms, but my monthly cycle got thrown off. So when I finally got onto my women's vitality beef organ vitamins again, because I had lapsed in buying them, uh, I finally got my iron levels up and my blood levels up enough. But then my cycle decided to come, which brought the blood volume all the way back down again. And so it just kind of extended everything for like another week. And so I was still having tachycardia if I tried to do any kind of aerobics because my blood volume was still low. My lungs weren't quite healing because my blood wasn't flowing correctly because the heart was trying to pump this low blood volume and it was just stacking on me. So for a little while, all I could do was have hot teas and broths, lots of garlic. I took my vitamins. I always make sure I take a nice vitamin C to go with because it helps absorption of those kinds of things. Another thing we got into was some magnesium glycinate for nighttime. And I switched over, I upgraded to this Costco Manuka honey, which also really helped for a little while. But yeah, now that I've been trying all these elimination diets just for like bloating and stuff, and it forgot to occur to me that I also have this gastro kind of issue. I hadn't really thought about it for years because I just don't really drink coffee, and I thought, maybe it was more drinking alcohol, maybe it was more stress. I had quit drinking already and stuff like that, so I was like, oh, maybe I can handle coffee. No. Luckily though, I did look it up. I don't have to cut out foods with citric acid in them. I don't have to cut out anything spicy as long as it's not irritating my stomach. I still might take it toned down just a little bit, just because when I talk about citric acid, I mean I dump citric acid powder on my candy to make it more sour. When I talk about spicy food, I literally take those cans of serrano peppers with the carrots and onions, and I blend that with an entire bag of chiltepin peppers dried, and then like 3 or 4 garlic cloves, and I throw in some salt, and that's my salsa, which is, you would have to try it to know what I'm saying, but basically this is on par with some of the spiciest salsas you can find on the market, and that's just how I like it. So I might try to either tone down on the level of sourness and spiciness just a scotch, and or I might cut back on the number of times. But definitely coffee is completely off. It's in the chopping block, so I'm just gonna be grateful for what I have. The third thing that can also definitely cause this kind of gastro stress that makes me bleed and get into an event that is actually triggering with not management correctly, it can be stress. And so another thing that I did is I have a Spotify, just the free account, but I usually listen to music at night, and I switched over to a different channel. It's the 528 hertz whole body regeneration channel on there, And I noticed when I sleep with that, I just tend to sleep like a little bit deeper. I wake up a little bit more refreshed when I wake up in the morning. And I just feel like that's definitely helping. And then I did started to get into some breathing exercises. And I'm going to be going into some more actual working out with some videos and stuff. I have still not quite decided which program exactly to follow because there's so many good ones. It's not that there's not enough good ones that I can't decide which one's going to be good enough. I feel like there's so many good ones that I just need to kind of pick one that works with me the most. I've been I like a lot of the ones that are calisthenic. They're kind of like modifications of yoga or things that you can do along with yoga to kind of increase your strength, stamina, and flexibility. For me, that's way more important than doing some of the other stuff, although I still like a good balance of cardio. I feel like this whole lung clearing thing finally was able to hold some traction because I had my blood volume up, because I was able to pump the blood effectively. My heart wasn't going all tachycardic when I went out on my jog this afternoon. And so once I was at that, it was like my lungs were able to like clear. I was still just a tiny bit congested, but it was just like popped all the way out because I'm out there jogging and my pulse is going well and my energy's going fine. And I even, finished out just fine. So anyhow, this is how it's going to go. I wasn't really intending to talk about my medical issues on this. This was definitely just supposed to be about exploring diet and learning what makes you gain weight, lose weight in order to maintain a healthy lifestyle. But this did rear its ugly head. And so I guess we're just going to have to take just a little pause to kind of talk about how, other medical issues and conditions can definitely come in and affect your ability to lose weight or manage your weight. For me, I'm actually just lucky. The way that you can treat this is only dietary. There's basically no medical treatment to fix this. I just basically have to follow the rules. And at first when I started seeing it, I was like, well, this is definitely eventually going to kill me, and I was like kind of like down and out about it. But I've kind of realized that it's like, no, just everybody needs some form of maintenance. And honestly, this will only kill me if I'm incredibly old and weak, or I don't manage it well at all. The family member, my father, he died. He didn't work on changing any of his habits in order to make it stop, and he wasn't following a strength training program. He wasn't working on that kind of stuff, and I don't mean to put him down for that. He worked very hard as an engineer, and he just sat at a desk and did mostly sedentary work, and that had him drinking coffee. He liked his beer. He smoked. And it kind of triple threaded him straight down to what ended up I'd say ended his life just a little bit short of where it could have ended up, So, we all get to be here for the time that we get to be here for. And we always do what's best for us. And I hope that he enjoyed his life, and even though it was a little bit shorter, I just would like to try to adjust my habits so that it's possible I might enjoy mine a little bit longer. Cheers, guys.